Well, there's a technique I often give to people to use. It's called the Power No technique. It was developed by Dr. Michael Hall, PhD of psychology, whom I studied with, done a number of trainings with. The technique Power No is literally where the conscious mind is teaching the unconscious mind, we don't do that anymore. So it's a sort of technique that a person can very easily and quickly use and do so that they can have the unconscious mind stop doing a particular behavior, for example, in the past, and move in the opposite direction. So the Power No technique is really a very powerful willpower technique. And just by learning and using that technique, it's very simple to do. Would you like me to talk you through it? Well, let's just think of one simple example, one everyday example. If a person had a particular behavior such as biting their fingernails, for example, they could use the Power No technique as a way of stopping that, or certainly slowing down the amount of time they do it, just depending on how strong that nail biting behavior is. In the case of a Power No technique, basically if a person was to stand, close their eyes, and remember a time in the past when they said no to something or someone, when they absolutely refused to do something and they said powerfully no. And then if they were to magnify that feeling, if they were to really, really pump it up, and as they're standing there using the whole body to really make that no really strong, to literally allow themselves to get right into it while they stand there with their eyes closed and use the whole body to have a sort of 3-year-old tantrum, a sort of no! And then save that feeling and direct that feeling like a laser at that behavior that they want to move away from. So for example, if they practice that technique about nail biting, as soon as they see their hand coming up towards their mouth and knowing what that means, it's no! And the unconscious mind feels that very strong feeling that's directed to that hand coming towards them. They can do this in their imagination and practice that technique just a few times. So that then, later on, when they notice that hand coming towards their mouth, all they have to do is think. Not out loud, just think that no. And the unconscious mind will remember that feeling and the emotions of that feeling of no related to nail biting, and they won't do it. The hand will go away. It may try again later on, but if every time it tries it, it gets whacked emotionally with a very powerful no, eventually the unconscious mind won't do it. This is really the same thing as house training a puppy. If you have a puppy that comes into the house and you don't house train it, it's going to grow up to become a problem. So what does a person do? As soon as they see that dog start to lift its leg, it's outside. And the puppy very quickly learns that if it doesn't go outside and do its business, it's in big trouble. We treat the unconscious mind like a puppy, and it will learn to do the right thing like a puppy. And the Power No is one of those simple techniques that works.
Just let